Look, up in the sky!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to SooprKIDS, your #1 source for youth fitness and wellness. My name is TJ, and in this particular nutrition video, we're going to talk about 3 very important elements that you need as part of your diet. They are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Yes, boys and girls, even fats are an essential part of not just your diet, but your overall survival. Now, boys and girls, regarding fat, there are some interesting statistics out there that we feel here at SooprKIDS you should at least be aware of. For starters, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 1/3 of kids in America are overweight. Now, according to ChildStats.com, there are approximately 50 million kids in America between the ages of 5 and 17. Now, if we combine both of those numbers together, that means that more than 16 million kids in America are overweight. Not only that, boys and girls, but over the last 30 years, the adolescent obesity rate has quadrupled. Now, these are really big numbers. But setting those numbers aside, boys and girls, here at SooprKIDS, what we're mainly focused on is educating you on what it is that you're putting in your body. That way, as you hopefully improve your nutrition plans and your diet plans, you're going to be eating healthier so that you function properly, so that your heart functions properly, and so that you live longer and healthier lifestyles. Okay, boys and girls, on to our very first item of topic of discussion, which is fats.
Well, boys and girls, fat is actually a nutrient. It's crucial for our body to function properly, and without it, we would not live. Now, I don't know about you boys and girls, but for me, that's just plain scary. And while fat does supply us with energy, it also makes it possible for other nutrients to do their jobs too.
Now, boys and girls, there are 2 types of fats. There are saturated fats, and then there are unsaturated fats.
Ah, jeez. Well, saturated fat consists of foods like ground beef, eggs, salmon, dark chocolate, and cashews, while unsaturated fat consists of foods like grains and nuts and even oils.
Okay, boys and girls, now that you understand a little bit about fats, also know that 15 to 30% of your fat intake should come from healthy forms of food, like those unsaturated fats. So you want to try and limit how much saturated fat that you consume, things like pork and especially red meat. In fact, boys and girls, if you cut out red meat just 1 day a week, you're already reducing your saturated fat intake by 15%, and that is a great number. It's great because you're not only fighting off obesity now, but you're also reducing the risk of things later on in life that are really horrible to your health. Things like heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. And they are no good. You don't want. Okay, boys and girls, on to our second topic of conversation, which is carbohydrates.
Oh boy. So, what are carbohydrates? Well, carbohydrates is any large group of compounds which contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen and can be broken down. Some of these compounds include starches and sugars.
Now, boys and girls, it's carbohydrates that gives you the energy and focus so that you can do difficult tasks like this.
In fact, 80% of brain function comes from carbohydrates.
Now, boys and girls, just as there are 2 types of fats, there are 2 types of carbs. There are complex carbs, and then there are simple carbs.
Well, boys and girls, complex carbs come from grains, pastas, cereals, potatoes, and vegetables. They provide energy and nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They are by far the most important type of carbohydrate you should be consuming because of their high nutritional value. Now, simple carbs consist of sugar, sodas, jams, and honey. And though they provide energy too, these types of carbs have very little nutritional value.
So, boys and girls, whether you're having simple carbs or complex carbs, all carbs have only 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. Okay, boys and girls, on to our third and final topic up for discussion, which is protein.
Oh boy. Well, protein is defined as any of a class of nitrogenous organic compounds that consist of large molecules composed of 1 or more long chains of amino acids. Whew, that's a mouthful. Say that 5 times fast. But all foods made from meat, poultry, seafood, beans, peas, eggs, processed soy products, nuts, and seeds are considered part of the protein foods group.
Protein helps build, maintain, and replace tissues in the body. One main tissue, boys and girls, is muscle. Oh yes. And did you know that muscle burns 7 times more calories than fat? Oh yes. Oh yes.
Well, boys and girls, protein provides energy, helps repair the body, and only has 4 calories per gram of protein.
Okay, boys and girls, that concludes this nutrition segment on fats, carbohydrates, and protein. For more nutrition information, simply stay on our website, SooprKIDS.com, and click under the nutrition tab. Also, boys and girls, if you haven't already, check out our fitness section under the fitness tab, where we've got lots of fitness videos for you to work out with us too. Each video is very different from the next, so make sure you're checking those out. Okay, boys and girls, I have a question. What do astronauts eat off of when they're hungry? Satellite dishes. I'm TJ, your animal personal trainer. Until next time, bye-bye.
And now it's time for Super Quiz Times.
Heidi-ho, Super Kids, and welcome to our Super Quiz. Now this is a section just to see not if you were just paying attention, but how much you actually know, because here at Super Kids we believe that the more you know, the more powerful you will be. Okay, Super Kids, let's get started.
Question number 1, true or false? Fat is not just an element to your diet, but to your survival too. Boys and girls, if you said true, that is correct. Okay, boys and girls, question number 2. The 2 types of fat are A, saturated in Saturn moon glow, B, saturated and unsatisfied, C, saturated and unsaturated, or D, saturated and unsat on a fat cat's hat. Boys and girls, if you chose C, saturated and unsaturated, that is correct. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 3. True or false? 15 to 30% of your diet should consist of fat coming from saturated fat. Boys and girls, if you guessed false, that is correct. For those of you that guessed true, remember, boys and girls, it's 15 to 30% of unsaturated fat that our diet should consist of. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 4. The 2 types of carbohydrates are A, simple and con artist, B, simple and concrete, C, easy and complex, or D, simple and complex. Boys and girls, if you chose D, simple and complex, that is correct. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 5, which is true or false. Simple carbs are healthier and have more nutrients than complex carbs. Boys and girls, for those of you that guessed true, the answer is actually false. That's right, boys and girls. Remember, simple carbs are sugars, sodas, jams, and honey. Now, though they provide energy, they have very little nutritional value. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 6. Carbohydrates that come from whole grains, nuts, vitamins, minerals, fruits, vegetables, pastas, and cereals are A, complete carbs, B, composite carbs, C, simple carbs, or D, complex carbs. Boys and girls, if you said D, complex carbs, that is correct. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 7. Foods like chicken, turkey, red meat, and fish are excellent sources of A, protein, B, pro sports, C, pronated puppies and rainbows and such, or D, TJ, you're having too much fun with the silly answer options. Boys and girls, if you chose A and D, that is correct. But really, boys and girls, the answer is A, protein. Okay, boys and girls, on to question number 8, which is true or false. Protein helps build, maintain, and replace tissues in the body. Boys and girls, if you said true, that is correct. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls, time for our last question, which is question number 9, which reads, protein burns blank times more calories than fat. Is it A, 1, B, 16, C, 7, D, 22, or E, I don't know. Well, boys and girls, if you chose C, 7, that is correct.
Boys and girls, if you answered all those questions correctly, give yourselves a nice round of applause. Very well done. Some of those were tricky. Now, for those of you out there that did not get everything correct, that's okay, because here at Super Kids, all that we really care about is that you just give it your best in everything that you do. Now, with that said, boys and girls, we've got lots more videos headed your way, so make sure you're checking those out on our website, SooprKIDS.com, because each and every video is very different from the next. Okay, why are these things shooting over my head? Why are you laughing? I didn't even tell the joke yet. I mean, I guess it's okay to laugh. You know, let's just laugh it up. I mean, you know, it could be a lot worse. You know, I could be struck by lightning or something. I don't know.
This concludes Super Quiz Times.